We're talking about extraterrestrials and answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
He said it was like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You said like there's something in your end table that you this too.
Hey, go ahead. We're crazy, girl.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that make
always
sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine. Somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some magnawave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come on here and talk bullshit and repeat. I'm living this stuff.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a culture.
Good evening, beautiful souls. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. How's everyone doing tonight? In the funky energy. It's been funky the past couple weeks, but like good too. Like almost like just been a hesitation, like a like this. So hope you guys are coping. And let's see who's in the room here. Moonchild Earth Horse, welcome. Lorraine, good to see you. Our wonderful mod Nina is here. Treat her. You always treat her guys with respect. Love her. She is love. She'll kind of direct you around. So self-explanatory. She's also here to kind of, moderate things in a good, energetic way too. So not just with the technical things. Erica Emoti, welcome. Chelsea, welcome. Stephanie Whitaker, welcome. Daryl, my man, good to see you. Lisa Cruz, my sis, good evening. David Cruz, we know who you are. Michelle Bell, welcome. Elizabeth Odom, good to see you. Thank you for the compliment. I kind of like my intro too. It's pretty cool. I'm kidding. Rita Owender, DC, welcome to you. Jennifer Cruz, hello. Allie Taylor, beautiful, how are you? Patty Snow, good to see you as well. And you all chatting. Celeste Givon, welcome. Stephanie Williams, good to see you again. Making sure and Rashida, good to see you. Sydney Aaron, my love, welcome. And Shannon Lotus Yoga, welcome in. And those who are watching, welcome. And I can only see those who are commenting in the chats. So, and those of you who are new, we'll be doing live readings too. I start with the collective reading, and then of course with the collective reading, then I will do a discussion and integrate live readings as well in. So if you want a question done, it's $15 for card pull. $20 for one question, $30 for two questions. The PayPal and Venmo links are in the description, so I would get those in now as well. And so I'm trying to think of anything else. Yes, oh, that's right. Mrs. Nina has a little bit of a card pull for you guys before we start. Here's a little message from our beautiful Nina.
What is up, y'all? My name is Nina. I'm excited to be here and do an oracle pull and see what comes through. But already as I'm shuffling though, I am getting this energy of the sacral space. The sacral chakra needing some healing and some sensual loving is specifically what I heard. Giving that love to yourself and accepting and surrendering and releasing the traumas that have been built there. And the two cards that popped up was the pleasure card. So remembering your enjoyment, your beauty, your sensuality, and indulging in what feels good for you, and the sacral space. The second card that came up was sexuality. So that's openness, sharing, beauty, and honor. So in what areas of your life can you invite this playful, sensual energy into?
I love that. It's very true. Very true. Creating your own space both energetically in the physical sense and the spiritual world too, because, I think 2024 is going to be very important about how we nest, and how we actually, oh, that's a wrong overlay, about how we nest. And so it's really important now to get your home life in order and get your sanctuary, your haven in order too, because that's where the sensuality begins. That's where we kind of attract that intimacy and the loving energy too, because we have our foundation, we have our comfortable energy, our safe haven, our sanctuary. So I think it's very important this year to start understanding how to really nest and changing those spaces. I've been getting a lot of people, who are transitioning into interior design, especially those who are spiritually minded, really getting into trying to help people get their energetic flow in their homes. Very important this year. So it's great to hear that message as well. Let's get into the collective read, shall we? I don't know, this comment overlay just got a little, yucky here, didn't it? Let me see if I can just quickly change that. We'll kind of leave it. This is live. Technical difficulties happen in live, so just keep that. Okay, let's get the collective read going here and see what the collective message is for all of those in the room. Now, when I say collective read, I'm talking about those who are watching, those who are in the room. And when I refer to the collective in the sense of, when we're talking about the world collective, I will definitely differentiate the differences between such as well when we talk about the collective in the world sense. So give me a couple of seconds. Let's get this in gear. Shuffle these cards. Let's see what's going on. As you know, sometimes it takes the time. I wish on the lives we can... It's very raw. Unlike Christopher Techie's show is very polished, mine is very raw. So you're seeing me in action. Do you have a smirky way? I mean, I feel like I always have a smirky way. I mean, today I was kind of in that type of mood a little bit. So I might be a little looser than usual. Maybe not so overly philosophical, but we'll see how when I get in the channeling state, if I end up getting more philosophical. We'll see. But yes, I've been kind of like releasing a lot, the past couple weeks and setting boundaries. And so I think it's been really kind of lightening my tone too with my work as well. And so I'm realizing how easily things really come when we kind of lighten the modes and so forth. So that's very important too. All right, these cards are they're funky. You guys having a funky week at all? Anybody having like funky weeks at all? Because these cards are kind of funky. Every time I try to shuffle cards for collective, I kind of see where the energy's at. And just those of you who are new, I'm not a tarot reader. I use tarot. I'm a psychic medium. Don't need them. But for collective purposes and for general purposes, it's fun to pull cards for direction. So let's see here. I had to pull that card here, they're saying to me. And King of Wands and the Princess of Swords. Oh, okay, I see. And pull some oracle cards here. Lack of sleep, Allie. Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of feel like I don't know where I stand with this with the sleep at all. It is a spiritual hopscotch week. I feel that. Because today I've been kind of wavering between like feeling good to heavy. It's like it's been a weird kind of phasing. So we are definitely clearing out the previous age, for sure. Clearing out the previous age. So I think that's wonderful. This is going to be, I feel like it's going to be a very emotional read here. And I think that, we have to really understand, and I think, talking about the phasing experiences and such. Gotcha. Okay, I really understand this going. The Star card is the first card we have here in the mix, and it really is kind of, look how destroyed this card is. This is pretty much a new deck with the green screen taking the green out, but they're really saying, as simple as a Star card is, you have to understand you are the center of your world. You are the nucleus of your experiences. You are the nucleus of what is coming and manifesting around you. And so everything that you have within you is actually the tools that you need to manifest the world around you. And so when I say manifest, it's not the simple manifestation of visualizing it happens. It really is understanding that the tools that you possess intellectually, spiritually, as well as how you've evolved from your past and how you evolve with your karmic lessons that brings you to the state of empowerment today. A lot of you guys are throwing out your empowerment simply because you've had challenges or simply because you have some experiences you don't know how to grapple. And that doesn't mean you lack power, all because you're growing and you're understanding certain elements. It doesn't mean you have to discard your previous experiences either, just because you're in confusion mode or you don't know really how to mend in certain circumstances. So please understand, you still have that power from previous experiences in this lifetime and previous incarnations. So do not let these challenges and these, I would say, this is always my card of confusion or just like competition. So to me, it feels like, a lot of you guys might be trying to kind of find your power through competing ideas and different, channels of contradiction when it comes to maybe, it could be work environments, relationships, or just even your own mind in itself might be in contradiction right now. That does not mean you're not powerful or you're powerless because of this. It simply means that you've actually raised the bar. The greater the challenge means you've raised the bar on your evolution and your growth. So please understand, you have the power to achieve and to, I would say, expand from these experiences. So once more, you are the core of everything that is happening around you, and the core within you has the power to change it to and to convert it into whatever you want to be. Remember, be that magician. I wish the magician card pulled in that. I love this, and it's so funny how they just chose. They just said, Scott, do me a favor, pull a deck over and pick the cards. This couldn't be any more, I would say, amazing too, because they want to say it's referencing money. We got the Ace of Pentacles. It's all about financial aspects, right? Love. It's all about partnerships, right? And the Four of Wands is my home, your home life, right? So, in order for these two aspects to manifest, the love and the financial rewards that you're wanting, it requires your foundation. And the home card is the foundation card. So many of you guys might be moving. A lot of you guys might be moving this year and relocating this year, making a change of move this year, changing residencies, or redoing a home, or getting into the line of work of helping people to redo that home. So, so that's very important that you have to understand that, you actually harness the power for all those elements. But really is time for you to understand what that means. Now, the King of Wands is really much, to me, a very creative, energy, and understand the creativity behind, the changes in your life and the creativity behind, how you can actually maneuver through your circumstances intellectually. Creativity does not just mean that you're painting things or you are decorating. Creativity means how strategic can you be in your life at this moment. How strategic can you be to say, I'm going to, process this in this fashion so I can actually gain the intellect and strength that I need to maneuver from these circumstances. So that's quite vague in general, of course, because everyone has different circumstances. But the key here is to be creative even with your approach in life. Be creative on how you're going to intellectually maneuver your circumstances. That's the creativity we need that's really coming from within and not just an artistic expression. So creativity comes in different formats, and that will help with these competing ideas. You'll be able to kind of be more streamlined on what you really want to focus on, and kind of like put things in the proper perspective and the proper balance. Okay, the Hanged Woman is here, so we all a lot of us know what the Hanged Woman means. It's very much the same as the Hanged Man, but there must be a lot of divine feminines in the room. And so the hang woman is just saying that you guys still feel a little suspended. That's okay. We're still phasing, okay? And so week to week, you might get some updates week to week, but not much really does change the week. A lot can change the week, but in this type of evolution that we're going through collectively, it's going to take some time to complete the phasing experience. So a lot of us are still phasing. It's like what we said before the collective read, how there's been kind of like a spiritual hopscotch, one of the commenters said here. And that's very true. There's kind of that suspension feeling, a wobbly feeling, kind of like a wavy feeling in that sense, because we are kind of shifting and phasing. And there's going to be a back and forth of that thing of difference of energy and the dichotomy of energy from the past paradigm into this newer paradigm. So that's a wonderful thing. And it's funny that after that the Oracle card is saying about balance, because during this time, it is very important to balance things out. You do not have to pick one over the other when it comes to your interests. You don't have to pick, well, I want to do this, but it's either I do this or I do that. Like, don't be this or that, be this and that. So you don't have to have, interests competing with each other. You can embrace and expand your life experience to complete it all, to incorporate it all. And so, and it may be at different timings, or it could be, side by side together, collectively together. It really depends on how you can foresee it coming in the order in your life. But it doesn't mean you have to dismiss it and say, well, I'm going to pick this over that, and so I'll put that aside. You don't have to do that. Okay? Competing ideas just means that you have a lot of ideas that haven't really got much attention, right? Requires organization in a sense. And that's where, of course, when you put things into balance, a lot of you guys, about the attraction phases, that's where you start attracting energy that's very similar, and you will be attracted to the same energy that equals out balance. And when I say attracted to that energy, that also means that you'll be inspiring the intellect needed to get things done, because attraction doesn't mean you're attracting physical circumstances. Attraction doesn't mean that you're attracted to a person only. Attraction also means that you're in the state of frequency that's allowing you to inspire and to channel information from spirit, from source, from the Akashic records. Anything that you need of inspiration, you can attract that too. So remember, attraction just doesn't mean when it comes to people, cars, and monetary things. It also has to reference to the amount of inspiration and intellect and knowledge that you receive and also become attracted to as well, which will help you on your journey. And of course, excuse me, guys, I've had, every time I talk now on these lives, I get my sinus infection. I haven't had it in a while. My sinuses bug me. Maybe it's this room. I don't know. It's a fan blowing on me, so I apologize if you're hearing that. But abundance card was the final card. So again, the abundance can be very cliche this day and age. I just want to manifest wealth and abundance. And I kind of was going to post a video today saying that if you want to manifest wealth and abundance, there's one secret tip that you need to know. And that is clear your karma. Because there are a lot of people that have unresolved karma or just have crappy karma. And a lot of people are doing their affirmations of wealth and abundance, yet they go around treating people poorly and expect everything to be handed to them while doing nothing in return. Well, they're not going to manifest anything, right? So you got to provide value, and you have to accept your value. And a lot of you guys have so much value, skill sets, and talents that are God-given that you're dismissing simply because you can't maybe see beyond all the, I would say, like I said, the competing ideas, right? Instead of just kind of plucking them out one by one and consider them all, but putting them in the proper mental perspective. So that abundance really does come to you when you understand the value of everything that you possess, intellectually, spiritually, within your talents, and what you're able to do in the future, and also have you grown. That's where that abundance, and abundance is very vague, right? Because we already are in abundance. We already have abundance. We're in abundance now. Abundance of thought, abundance of time, right? Abundance of air, abundance of light. But we have abundance already. But when I'm saying this abundance, it usually refers to the monetary abundance, the tangible abundance. I have enough financial wealth to do what I need to do to get things done. I have enough resources. So usually when people say abundance, they're referring to abundance of resources. And so remember the abundance of resources you already have, and be resourceful with the resources that you have. Some of you guys already have the skill sets and awareness to do what you need to do, but you're not utilizing those resources because you think you need more because of all these competing ideas. And it's like, no, you have the knowledge and intellect of what you need to do to handle these competing ideas. Do it. Exhaust those resources. Like I said before, be resourceful with those resources. And then you'll start experiencing the abundance in the fashion that you intend to experience it. So again, many people refer to that financial abundance and the abundance to do with anything financially. That's fine, but understand what money represents and what finances represents. That represents what? Value, appreciation. So the more you appreciate the self, the more you create more things of value. And the more you value and appreciate what you're doing, the more others will appreciate and value what you're doing. It's like this domino effect. And so that's why many people say, oh, that's the law of attraction or whatever. But it's really just a domino effect. When you push an energy a certain level and it keeps growing and growing and growing, it's like a snowball effect, I'd call it. It's a snowball effect. The energy gets bigger, 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 grander, grander, expands. And you have to be the one that keeps pushing and expanding the essence of that. So I want you guys to see it as more of a building experience and less of an attracting experience. Even though it's true, we attract, but that's not the goal. That's not the modality that we're here. I got to attract. It's like we got to build is what we need to be focusing on. And what is a snowball that you want to build and roll down so it gets bigger? And so that energy keeps harvesting and builds that momentum. What is the energy you want to push down for it to grow? And that's what I want you guys to think about. Because the more we start thinking about attracting and all that, we keep ourselves kind of stuck in this like box, right? And not so much looking ahead of seeing how things can actually expand. It's all about, it's either I have it or I don't have it. And it becomes in that kind of, very, I would say, judgmental type of modality. I don't have this, so something's wrong. I haven't manifested, so something's wrong. Instead of saying, well, I haven't done anything to grow it. Right? What have you guys do to grow your financial world? What have you guys have done to grow your jobs and your careers and your relationships? Are you just sitting in complacency? So again, all that energy you have is harnessed within the core of yourself. Your soul is the nucleus of all that power. It is the core of who you are. And so that's why you have to allow yourself to like see it in a different point of view when it comes to you are the creator. And I hate to sound cliche, but you are. And you are the core nucleus of the experiences around you. And so if you want to understand why things are going the way you don't want them to, maybe start asking yourself instead of asking the universe. Because you have those answers, you know which patterns that need to be changed. And again, this is kind of a message that really is coinciding with the shift that we're experiencing right now within the collective, because we have to be doing this transformation phase. And, you know, every sign is experiencing it a little differently. I think the Aquarians have been a little bit ahead of this, you know, in a sense of we have been more aware. We've been preparing for this kind of shift and change because, you know, the Pluto's entered Aquarius. So it's kind of, we're in that vibe. Cancers are having a little more of a struggle on this transformation phase. So the Cancer is a little lagging behind a little bit. And I say second to that would be Leos. You know, Leo men primarily. Leo women a little more ahead of that. So I think it's important to understand too astrologically where you stand with the energy, so you understand what your value is and what your mission is, and also what your paradigm shift really intends to be. And working on that, because it's not just, I would say, isolate to one sign, this shift and change. All signs, all of us are going to be experiencing this. And so selfishness and those who are selfishly minded, again, will not be able to thrive. We've come from a paradigm where selfishness was thriving. Superficiality was thriving. That's not going to be thriving any longer in this paradigm. Okay, what's going to be thriving in this paradigm is collectiveness and, you know, self-love and self-appreciation in conjunction to how that also values and connects with the collective and brings value to the collective. So that's the paradigm we're entering. So we're all preparing for this right now. We're all phasing into that right now. And so a lot of times it may not be ugly, it may not be beautiful or pretty for a lot of people. It may be very ugly for a lot of people, simply because it's revealing to a lot of people the paradigms and decisions you've made for so long that's finally caught up with you. Okay? So remember, you are the star of this experience. You are the one that is actually dictating it, creating it, maneuvering it. Okay? And so then when you understand that, you allow yourself to understand that you are actually the cause of all that too. And then you can start realizing and welcoming the fact of your karmic choice, your choice you've made that created your karmic lessons. You'll start being more attuned to this and clearing the karma before jumping and trying to get ahead without clearing it, which keeps people stuck without, knowing this, especially trying to manifest things. And, so it's all about new beginnings. I mean, this is very cliche, general, and simplistic, but it's true. I mean, this is all about new beginnings right now for all of us. Okay, for all of us. Big shift here. All right, so I think I'll just pull a few more, for the collective, and then I'll do a couple live readings, and then we'll get into the kind of topic. The topic is going to be very casual. Not, I was thinking about pulling up some articles about extraterrestrials and stuff like that, but I'll kind of give you my perspective generally about them and so forth, and different layers and levels of such. And there's a lot we don't know. So, but remember that snowball effect I mentioned before. We can create an energy and push that snowball so it grows bigger, and builds momentum. But don't forget, what we're experiencing now was a snowball that was created from the past that caught up too. A lot of times, a lot of people are being infiltrated with all this heavy energy at once. Well, that's what's built up to that point from past behavior, caught up with you now. To now it's becoming too much for you to handle. But we have the power to stop it. And then we have the power to redirect it and build again. Okay, I think one more card. One more. Una más card. But yeah, and I think a lot of you guys might be feeling a lot of uncertainty. I think this week has been primarily, how many of you guys in the room have been feeling a lot with insecurity? Have you guys been noticing your confidence kind of taking a hit this week too? Not I would say badly, but how many guys are realizing that you've been questioning yourselves a lot more, or kind of feeling not as confident in things that you've been confident before? Anybody in the room been feeling that? Because I know me for one, I've been kind of feeling that energy too, questioning, and a lot of other people I've known as well. So that's another part of the shift too, because when you start a new chapter, start new steps, you're going to be hesitant and have trepidation. So understand that's part of the process. It's part of the process. This is funny. So, and in conjunction to what I just pulled, the Hermit card. It's time to just, and it's not to isolate, guys. You don't need to be isolating right now. Just spend more time with yourself, guys, right now. We need to finish this transformation process, okay? So please get into I want to get to know myself. I want to spend a little more time with myself and get in that mode. Because, like I said last year with the Three of Cups in reverse, it ain't time to party yet. Got some work to do, but I don't like to say got some work to do in a sense where it feels heavy. Work just means you have some like things to fix right now and things to nurture, and is the self. And so spend some more time with yourself during this phase to allow that I would say transformation to come through. And the Five of Wands in the reverse, to me, it's saying stop competing with people, stop trying to argue with people, stop trying to prove your points right now. Your points don't mean anything to people right now. We're no longer in the phase where proving a point to people, that doesn't matter anymore. So stop trying to prove a point to your family, stop trying to prove a point to your lovers, your friends, stop trying to prove a point. If they don't get it, move along. It's time to stop that friction and stop kind of, adding to that friction. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't defend yourself if someone comes at you. That's different. But just for the sake of trying to be right and prove a point, stop that. That's all an ego. That is out of sync with the season of Aquarius. And the world in reverse is saying, like, don't try to think outside the box too much. It's almost like the tending to your garden energy, right? Clean up the home a little bit before you take that long trip. That long trick. Is that a Freudian slip? I don't know. But the long trip, okay? Let's start over. Clean your house up before you take that long trip, figuratively speaking, because, same thing here. You got to make sure everything's in order, because once the modality picks up, once the rhythm picks up, you're going to be glad that you did clean things up before things get, out of hand, right? So, again, get rid of those tricks. Get them out. You need the true love to come in to go on the Freudian slip there. And one more card, and then I'm gonna answer some questions that are coming in. Get your questions now, because I'll close them down relatively soon. Maybe some of you guys are entertaining some romantic partnerships that don't need to be entertained, and so maybe you guys have to think about that one too. They might be good, in bed, and they might be good as far as being lovers. However, they're clogging your space of finding true love. Right? Now, if it's a situation that you enjoy, then enjoy it. That's different. But if you're doing it just to do it, and it's not bringing anything to the table, then you might want to reconsider. So it's not clogging up the pipes. Oh, that's another bad sentiment. You know what I mean? I'm not going there. So you're not clogging your... How can I phrase this? You want to clear the space out so you have an open energy for people to come through, okay? Ay. How'd it go down? Maybe you guys, look, I think these slips are funny. You know why? Because even Nina said about like the sexuality. I think there's been a lot of sexual energy also this week, which is also bringing a lot of, I was saying, uncomfortable energy, to people. Because, a lot of people might be uncomfortable with their sexuality. And so there's a little insecurity when it comes to that if it's new, because there's been a lot of sexual energy that's been harvesting and manifesting right now. And that needs to kind of resurrect within you. So let's embrace the sexual energy. Yeah? And so I think that's probably why a lot of those Freudian slips kept happening, because you guys might be trying to really get that out and express that. It's our essence. It's part of our being to express that sexual energy. And so, and maybe a lot of guys, you have to come to terms with that sexual energy and what that means, and so maybe stop pushing it aside. It's something that's natural. It's part of us. It's also, sexuality is also a spiritual expression. Please, guys, every physical expression is a spiritual expression. That's why we came here to experience it. You know what I mean? So everyone's like, oh no, I have to be spiritual, so I can't say fuck, and I can't have sex, and I can't have a scotch. That's all bullshit. We came to experience these wonderful physical experiences, but the whole point is that we remain in balance with the duality, right? The yin and the yang. So yeah, I think the sexuality has been a theme this week. And I've been feeling that too, as far as like reconsidering, certain aspects of, where do I really sit with it? And is it more from my past, or is it more who I am? Really finding out who I am with the sexuality and even intimacy, so you guys get the point, right? All right. Let's see. I'm glad you guys understand too. So a lot of times you guys might be feeling things, and that's why I love doing these collective reads too, because a lot of times people feel like they're alone in a circumstance. And I would say you're not alone being alone, right? So many other people, like, we have a collective current, and some of my Cancerian friends are having a really rough time, but I'm letting them know it's a Cancer thing. You know, it's a Cancer. The Cancers are having a little more of a delay in their I would say in their recalibration phase and redesigning their paradigm. They're having a longer, rougher time on this. So I had to let my Cancerian friends know that's a Cancer thing. It's not just you. All Cancers are in that modality. So remember, you're not alone in being alone, and you're not alone in going what you're going through. There's always a collective current that's matching with you too. That's also experiencing that. And so that's very important for you guys to understand. And what was I about to do? I forgot. Oh, yeah. Take some questions. Yeah, I've kind of been on one today. So, okay, let's see what the first question is. All right. The first one is, if I can even get the transaction pulled up here. Okay. Sydney Aaron, and question is from Sydney. I wish I could put it on the screen here. Had a dream in 2018 shortly after an abrupt awakening. Visited by a being who gave a simple yet specific message. Received an energetic transmission and a very physical vibration from that being. Has it have not been visited since? Do you have any insight? Thank you. Well, one thing that people need to understand too, we have many guides spiritually, and also connections with ETs and extraterrestrials and higher dimensional, extra dimensional beings that we also have had experiences with before. And so a lot of times we have someone that we connect with spiritually that will come in and help and give us a download, or give us a realization. And that's it. We also don't keep the same guides all the time. I've had upgrades of guides, or guides have shifted around many times, you know, not many times, but during major upgrades in my life, I've had a new set of guides, or some that come back and forth. I've met with one entity that helped with something, never came back again. So we always have these inputs. And wherever you're at in your life, when this being has visited you, Sydney, I think that energy kind of relates to that energy where you're at, that can give you that information and insight and inspiration. So they don't always have to revisit and come back. Sometimes it just requires that one meeting. Okay, so understand there's so many different interconnections that we have spiritually from previous incarnations, guides that we have, ancestries, all that wonderful stuff. So in this case, it was just needed for that one moment. But it feels like an interdimensional being that was once a guide in another lifetime, but still posed a guide on a deeper level. So that's what that experience feels for me in that sense. The information you need at that time, it feels like more of a push. I feel like this being gave you a push. So was it a being or something I made up in a dream? No, it was a being. It was I'll leave it this way for you, Sydney. It was more of like a guide. A guide that you've connected with in other incarnations, as well as in the astral plane. So definitely, I'll just say it was a guide. And we have many guides. Like I said, they shift. Some would come in from one reason, another coming from another reason. So to me, it was tried to be a push for you and some sort of turn on a light bulb, in a sense, for you. Because I'm seeing like after that experience that you started becoming hypersensitive to things after that. There's shown to me that you were more emotional after that, so you've been more in tune with your emotions after that visitation. So it was kind of like a wake-up call, and also like kind of like a push for you to kind of be more, I would say, aware of your emotional responses. Because they're saying you might even had a breakdown after that too. Like maybe you cried some point after that. So it definitely was a powerful being, and that being does not come down quite often. As it doesn't like to lower frequency that often, but it helped that you were in the dream state because you were in the astral plane in the dream state to meet this being. Remember, when we go to sleep, guys, we're in the astral plane. Okay, so we're somewhat disconnected from our bodies, but still connected, but we're experiencing things in the astral level of reality. One, we need to take a break. Two, we're also rearranging certain things in our trajectory based on what we've learned from the day. And also we're consorting with other guides and other spirits as well for more information of what we can do and how to process in the life ahead. So again, if you want to connect more with that, then connect more with your guides and understand more of the guides that you possess through meditation. Okay, but don't limit yourself that you have set guides. I mean, you might for a certain period of time, but then another set of guides can come in to assist with another theme that you might be experiencing. Okay, but in this case, it was like a one and done type of thing, and I feel like this entity has been with you in other incarnations, kind of one and done, like a boom. It was an awakening to help you to push and to be more in tune with your emotions, because they were saying right after this, you had been emotionally, more perceptive of your emotions after that, and seeing things more sensitively, so. I love you too. Yeah, and understand you can have many of those connections, Sydney. Like you can have more of those. A lot more of those. If you just allow yourself to be, I would say curiosity is a wonderful thing to invite spirit in, to be curious. Curious with hesitation. You don't want anything coming in, but it'd be good to just be curious and say, like, I just want to know, like, who my guides are. I want to connect with, like, who is really kind of, connected to me right now, So, I mean, spend time doing it. A lot of times we think, and this is one thing I'm going to be very, like, about. A lot of us think, the spirit's got to come to me. The spirit's got to come to me. Like, why aren't they visiting me? It's like, you have to ignite the activation and connection with spirit. Don't just sit around and say, why don't I get visitations? How come they're not visiting me? Why come they come once a blue moon? Like, this is not for you, Sydney. This is for the room. I want to be clear. Make sure you guys are activating the spiritual connection, or at least trying to establish a connection. Sitting back, trying to wait for it to happen, not for nothing. We're not that important to her. Spirit is going to have interest and want to say, hey, you see me? Not going to happen. So, what spirit thrives on is power. What spirit thrives on is that strength and wisdom. So when we step up to the plate and we want to consort, and we allow ourselves to be prepared to consort, they will show up. But we got to meet them halfway, and we got to show interest too. It's like sitting at home and just expecting the phone to ring for some random date that you've never met. It's like, how's that going to happen? Right? So, and even when, we have loved ones that pass over in spirit, we think, why aren't they reaching out to me? It's like, but what are you doing to reach out to them? We have to ignite the connection. Okay? So I think it's important that we actually first have the curiosity, the interest, and we do the footwork in order for us to get to ignite the communication. And be clear in what type of communication that you want too. And what you're seeking. And watch what happens from that perspective. Watch what happens when you're very clear and precise in what you're wanting. Right? And we have a lot of different, I would say, archetypes. What did I do? Something, hold on a second. Sydney, where did you go? You just disappeared for some reason. We have a lot of different spiritual archetypes we can connect with. And, there's, like there's Archangel Michael, there's so many different archangels, so we have a lot, I would just say this. And so find your niche of what you actually are interested in connecting with, and which type of spirit modalities you're interested in connecting with. And whether it be ancestry, guides, archangels, dark entities, right? And dark entities doesn't mean evil, just means the divine feminine side of spirit. So, and then do your work, do your duty, show up. And they'll show up for you too. All right, Sydney, I love you, because every time you have a question, it inspires like another topic for the collective. So thank you for that. Chelsea Manica, card pull. Chelsea, I feel like you've had a difficult week. I'm going to say this while I'm shuffling the card, Chelsea. It feels like you're in your head this week. You're doubting a lot right now. So let's see what the cards say. But that happens. Like, you're going to be in the paradigm, you're going to doubt yourself, and be like, oh, I'm in my head again, and that's normal. I accept it as normal, too. Okay. Just shuffling, too, seeing when the guides want to end the shuffling. Did I put the, let's put the theta waves on, too. What's going on with this? Let's get some theta waves on here. Let's see. I knew this was going to come for you. I mean, I just knew this was going to come for you. I knew the High Priestess was coming for you, Chelsea. Okay, let me see what they want to say about that, too. Got it. Okay. What you're feeling, Chelsea, this week, like I was saying before, thanks for validating that, and that you were feeling that. You're feeling the separation right now, Sydney, Chelsea, of your intuition. Mrs. High Priest is all about the intuition, psychic abilities. And when that comes up, you better be thankful. I mean, this is a powerful card when it comes to intuition. Don't take it lightly when the High Priestess comes up in your read, because it means like you have the intuition, you're having the pulses, and I think beyond that, the Emperor card is all about being structured, and it's very much a divine masculine energy. So you guys also you're kind of like in between your right and left brain. You're over analyzing the structure of things and the logic behind things, but your intuition is kind of like saying something completely different. So right now, your intuition and your logic is completely separated right now. And you know what I say about that? Good. It needs to be. You need to separate the two and realize the differences, because now you need to start choosing your intuition. And that's transformation, right? This is when the transformation, manifests. Is when you understand now, my logic is here, but it's on a loop. And now I'm like in my head, but it's not solving anything. But I remember when I was like being very intuitive, things felt like it was flowing for me. Things felt like there was like movement. There was like, I felt clear. I didn't feel heavy. And I felt like things were kind of moving in my direction energetically. So now you've been in Mr. Left Brain and you're realizing it's not working. That old thought process and just thinking with logic alone isn't helping. It's keeping you stuck. So now you're starting to see the differences. So it's interesting to show that you've kind of been splitting the different aspects of the logic and intuition. But you have to feel that. You have to be able to take a step back and be objective and say, oh my God, this freaking overthinking logical brain is freaking not doing anything. And my intuition was kind of leading me somewhere. You need to see that. You need to identify that. And remember, a lot of you guys are so focused on changing your conditions. And let me tell you something. It's not about changing your conditions. It's about changing you. And unfortunately, a lot of humans are putting the cart before the horse. They think, well, my conditions got to change so I feel better. Like my circumstances just have to get better and then I'll feel better. It's like, no. You have to change yourself and then the conditions will change. It doesn't work the other way around. And a lot of guys are so focused on how to just change the conditions to try to rush the process. And I'll say you'll keep yourself stuck in the process like a hamster on a wheel. If you don't focus on changing the self and changing your perspective and changing your choices and even changing, like I was saying in the very beginning for the collective, being creative on how you change your circumstances. And, Chelsea, I'm going to use your example, your situation as examples that, there are many people that have gotten into relationships that are very conditional. They got into a relationship because their partner had money, wealthy, showered them in the luxuries. But then they get to a point in the relationship like, I'm not happy. There's no intimacy. I feel alone, and they're stuck. And so then they just all of a sudden want to get out of it and find a love and true love again. It's like, does that sound reasonable or rational to you? Like now you realize I'm not in love, so I got to find where's my next lover now? But I don't have money to support myself, so what do? It's like, how about you take advantage of your situation right now? You wanted the conditional relationship? Take advantage of the conditional relationship for what it is. Use that conditional relationship to allow yourself to build up the independence that you desire. So you can get out of it. You can't just say, oh, I realize I don't want it anymore, so give me something else. So many humans do that. It's a human condition, by the way. The human brain is very judgmental. When it realizes something wrong, it just wants to bypass and do something else. That's the brain. The soul doesn't work that way. The soul's like, I'm going to grow from this. I got to maneuver this. I have to expand on this and take the lessons from this and then utilize this to, in a positive sense, to push me forward so I can then fall into the rhythm of what I really want. So your situation, I wasn't really saying it directly to you, Chelsea, but there's circumstance inspired me to speak that for people who are in the room about this, that it's not about changing your circumstances. You're all trying to focus on changing the circumstances, about changing you. A lot of people saying, but I need a job. I need a job now. Well, change your approach and change how you're valuing yourself and your confidence of what you do. And then try again, look for a job. But if you're coming from a perspective of I'm in lack, I'm in this lack energy and I just feel deprived and I just feel insecure, I have no job. I need a job. Where's it coming from? I need a job. That energy, when you put that energy on stuff, that ain't going to work, because you can have your resume, and whether it's digital or not, you hand that resume with that energy. And so the people who are going to hire you are going to be like, nah, I don't know. I'm not feeling this girl here. I don't know why. She's got good credentials, but I'm not feeling it. Let's go with this one. This feels better. People make decisions like that. So when you have that energy, you better put better energy on those resumes or whatever you're sending out. Put better energy on that. You're taking a test. You're taking whatever. You better put better energy on that. Otherwise, it's going to manifest the same exact way of how you're putting the energy that you're putting on it. Your words, your spoken words, your thought, your projections is the magic wand in this reality. So once more, you better reconsider when you're sending a resume, pick up that phone call, whatever you're doing. You better sit back and say, to which state am I coming from with this? Because do you think that it makes sense? I sent out 50 resumes. I just can't, for 6 months, I can't find a job. I don't know why. 6 months, I can't sell my house. I don't know why. That's because whatever decision you're making from the energy state that you were in ain't working. It's time to start and take a different modality, different thinking, and start looking more intuitively. Like we were saying for Chelsea. Because then it'll tell you, you know what? My house isn't selling because it's overly personalized. It's dark. The energy's stale. You know, I'm not getting the jobs because I'm bringing to the table this energy of desperation and like powerlessness. Maybe they're reading that from me, right? So to go back to Chelsea again, you know, I think you're in the middle of observing that, and so it's tough. He's like, oh my God, now you feel beside yourself in a sense, but that's good. It means you're separating yourself to be objective, to see that, to see the expression of intuition, then to see, right, the logical side. So this is a good thing, Sydney. So, you know, again, allow yourself to be observant of how you've been processing things differently and go back into intuitive mode, so then your intuition and your soul can create new logic for the brain to follow. Remember, guys, your brain has outdated logic. The logic in your brain up here has been created from your past experiences. Everything that society has taught you, your experiences that you've endured, everything that you've actually been through. That's how your logic has been created. So if you want something different, your brain logic that's in there now is not reliable to change into circumstances that you want next. It's not. Your intuition tells you, look, I've been doing this. Your intuition is insightful. It's a broader perspective. You can look at the bigger picture. That can help you, receive the intellect that you need to then create the logic to change the paradigm, to behave differently. That's the formula, right? So once you start doing that in that format, you understand we do have the duality. Then you allow your intuition, which is the core of you, to start creating a different logic and start creating different paradigms and get out of it. Because the Emperor card is also a very rigid energy. It's a very rigid energy. It's very kind of stuck in its ways energy, Usually it's a dictator card, but again, a dictator card is very regimented, So, but again, to me, I think it's amazing for you, Chelsea. Remember, it's a divine masculine energy and a divine feminine energy, and you're stuck in the middle of it, like this. Oh gosh, you guys don't even know the half of my kookiness. I'm kind of tame right now. Allie, new counsel. In person, I'm talking with a good person. Okay, so we're talking legally. Let me see. Actually, it's good. Let me see this. Sydney, I love you. I love you. I observe logic, then ask myself how I felt before action. Yeah, that's a good thing. It's really kind of one thing I love about meditation, which I think people kind of misconstrue when it comes to meditation. It's like, well, I just start hearing more thoughts. Good. You want to watch your thoughts. You want to watch your thoughts. You want to observe what the hell your brain is thinking and what's on autopilot. You want that. And you might say, well, I'm slowing down my thoughts and I'm getting more thoughts. It's like, no, you're slowing down your thoughts so you can observe your thoughts. And so when you observe your thoughts and you realize, oh my gosh, this has been on a loop for so long. What the hell? Right? And then you can start identifying a different shift that's better for you. So, Master Aquarius Sun and Master... Yeah, I'm a Grand Master Aquarius. It was nice to hear that I was a Grand Master Aquarius. I don't know what degree I am with my Virgo rising or not. But I'm Grand Master Aquarius, Virgo rising, don't know my step, don't know my position with the Virgo, and also Gemini moon. My moon's in Gemini. Don't know much about that either. I'm learning more from Christopher because he's gotten me more into astrology. So I hope in a couple years I'll be clear on my astrology a lot better. What does Michelle say here? I'm shuffling for Allie. Why is this music? I wanted my theta waves. Sorry, guys, if that music was by. My mind has the ability to find new ways, different ways, but sometimes I worry it's me avoiding truth, deceiving myself, and looking at it differently. Well, again, it's subjectivity. What do you mean by deceiving yourself? And what would you be doing to deceive yourself? right? And so, don't just stop and say, am I deceiving myself? Take that further and say, okay, what would I be deceiving myself on? What am I wanting? What do I feel like am I sweeping something under the rug? Am I overcompensating for anything? Go deeper with that question if you think you're deceiving yourself. Because remember, if you're thinking that you're deceiving yourself, you might be sugarcoating something. Excuse me. And you might be overlooking something that's blinding you to something. So it doesn't necessarily mean that your thought process is deceiving you. It might just mean that you feel like you're sugarcoating something and not allowing yourself to see something. And by going deeper, you'll feel that. You'll feel that. So, okay, back to Allie. We want to know about her new counsel. Yes, I told you you'll have new counsel. The person now, Allie, they're all right. They're all right. I think there's somebody else. I think the person now is kind of like, it's okay, but I think you should maybe look again, look more, keep looking. Yeah, but Michelle, not so much about going deep, so I'm going to go back and forth. Not so much about going too deep. You want to take what you have that already is deep and just be more objective with it. You know what I'm saying? Be more objective with it and be more, I would say, aware that, I have this. Am I sugar? Like, keep it simple. You don't have to go any deeper. It really isn't that deep, And so if it's deep for you, maybe you're just looking too deep, and maybe that, again, that you might be just not simplifying enough. Right? So if you feel like you're looking too deep, maybe you are. Maybe you're not looking at what's on the surface and keeping it simple in that sense. You know what I mean? So I would be more objective and say, I feel this. And if I feel like I'm deceiving myself, am I sugarcoating something or am I not addressing something? Just be more light with it and say, what do I feel about this? And you might even say, no, I just maybe overly question myself too much. And that's probably why I'm hurting, because I just don't really trust anything. I'm just too much in flux with my thoughts that you might have to kind of solidify something for a change. And that could be why your head will start hurting. And I feel like, I know that's why I'm reading it. So that's why I think you really want to kind of look forward and say, okay, I'm really balancing out and trying to find my simple objectivity. And you might be looking too deep than I think it's right in front of your face, Michelle. Okay. But yes, the person you're talking to now, Allie, sorry, I'm kind of ping-ponging. But yeah, the person right now, Allie, I think they're okay. I don't think they're really going to be, as driven for the job. But I think that you might want to really kind of look deeper, look more. I feel like there's another person that you can talk to that you'll feel more of a connection with. I feel like you feel like there's someone, you've maybe talked in person, but your energy is like, I need someone to help me, but I don't know if it's it, but I need someone now. So don't come from that premise. You'll find the right person, though. I think the last week we pulled a card that they're coming. So you'll find them. The energy of the person that you're referencing now, I feel like you feel like it's kind of but I just feel like you're like, oh, I just need somebody, but you'll find somebody better. I didn't ask you to shuffle a card, but this it's the Knight of Pentacles. I know the green is being kind of taken out of the picture because it's on the card, green screen. And so the Knight of Pentacles is someone who is very much not an overly professional, right? So maybe someone who's been in the game for like maybe 10 years but not 30 years. Someone who's still fresh enough that like has a drive but has enough experience. That's what the Knight of Pentacles is telling me. The King of Pentacles would be someone who's been doing it for like 30, 40 years, and they probably would yawn and kind of be like, oh, okay, I'll take the case and not put that much into it. But Knight of Pentacles is someone who's still driven with it. So it's definitely a male energy. So I don't sense a female energy with that. And then this person will be very quick and move things along a lot quicker. Things will start happening a lot quicker, okay, with the Chariot card. So it'll happen this year. Definitely happen this year, for sure. May, I think you'll be getting these going by May, Allie. Yep. For sure by May. Lisa Brumali, card pull. Yeah, Allie's she's completing a very important phase this year. And so once you're in the legalities of this, Allie, and once it's kind of in its, like it's moving, you could sit back and relax at that point. You could sit back and relax at that point. But they're saying, Allie, you need to get some sleep. You haven't been sleeping. So they're saying you need to get some sleep. All right? You're thinking about this too much. You know, give yourself scheduled time to think about this. Say, I'm going to think about this and this and that, and then at this time, I'm not thinking about it. I did my job, okay? So make sure you're doing that. Schedule your thinking about it. So you're not thinking about it, and then you don't have issues sleeping. Because they're saying you're having issues sleeping for the past 3 days. You know, and your throat it's like there's a dryness in your throat. They're showing to me too. You want to get rid of that. You know, hydrate. You know, yeah, all that stuff. This is interesting to me. This is for Lisa Brumali. Where are these people? Let me generalize this because, okay. First of all, this for Lisa Cruz, Lisa Brumali. There's a shift, there's a change, there's a new chapter of something beginning. But they're saying that you're not being wise about it. They're saying you're running away from it. You're fighting against it too much. Okay? Wheel of Fortune. So, again, you asked for a card pull. Normal questions, I don't need cards. I just would do my general read, but I'm doing a card pull. New cycle. You're fighting against, you're thinking too much of, you know, about the circumstance that you shouldn't be doing. You should be fighting against things too much. It's more about accepting things. And the Fool card in reverse means that you're kind of like stalling yourself. That you're not actually allowing yourself to like think ahead. And so I think a lot of this has to deal with acceptance and change and responsibility, it feels like. You know, if I look at the Queen of Pentacles came up. To me, I'm really much focused on here, how she's holding the ball almost like she's pregnant. So it just has to deal with children for some reason. You know, because Queen of Pentacles is money, but I think in conjunction to dealing with children or handling children and taking the responsibility of such is kind of where you're allowing yourself to stay stuck, but like in betwixt, because then there's also the King of Pentacles. So I think that this is also telling me if you're worried about financial aspects in regards to children, that I feel like there would be some legality that comes in that will help you with this, or maybe you'll have an attorney that comes in to help you get the financial support you need to help the unexpected children, right? So if you're taking possession of children from your own children, so maybe you have to take custody of a grandchild or grandchildren, then, you know, own it, that somehow you'll have the financial responsibilities to take care of this, you know, and they're saying that, you know, the Fool card in reverse, again, you're not being wise about it, though. You're being too fucking Aquarius. You know, you got to stop being so flighty about this and then impulsive. Flighty, then impulsive. Flighty, impulsive. Because that really much is the Seven of Wands for me. But I'm fighting against everything. And it's like, but it really is nothing really fight. Make a decision, make that change, and move forward. And ask yourself, you know, once you make that change, then move forward with it. Don't be finicky. Don't be so freaking Aquarius. Coming from an Aquarius. And you know, the children matters to me. It's all about this. It feels like you will have financial support to do so, provided that you make the decision to do so. And so you also have to think what's important and think from the heart, and also do what's best from the heart's sake. You know, because another one of the competing ideas, Five of Swords. You know, and the Lover's card is coming out to me too, and which means that I feel like a relationship is in the mix of this. So you're probably deciding, like, how can that balance with the relationship? You know, and so you're suspended too. I think this is kind of in the collective. You're saying you kind of feel like you're in flux. I'm up in the air. You know, and I'm running away because, you know, how am I going to deal with the circumstance of the children that I have to inherit, and then also, you know, the love. How's my relationship going to support this? And so you have to make a decision, a choice of how it's going to be. You know, so they're saying you fear change, and that's the problem. And so you're not thinking properly. Instead of just understanding that, you know, Aquarians, we love movement and we love expansion and expression. It's just another way to express yourself. Do you like how you've been expressing yourself previously? Kind of flaky, you know, gaga, you know, and then also being very, you know, and then impulsive and then reactive. Do you like that? Because, you know, because that's not satisfying. So in order to make yourself satisfied about circumstances, you got to change it, right? You have to allow yourself to change. So they're saying the circumstance, you know, really is that the Wheel of Fortune card really for me is saying to me that, you know, you have the opportunity to change now. There's a circumstance that came in for you, and if it, again, it feels like children. So maybe, you know, the harnessing your grandchildren energy. You know, they're saying that was trying to push you to change and snap out of it. You know, and you know, it's time to make things more concrete. And the fear of change just means that you're not allowing yourself to grow. The fear of change means that you're afraid of learning more about yourself. The fear of change means that you're afraid of actually allowing yourself to become more of yourself. That's what the fear of change means. Because what does change really mean for you? Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Why are you uncomfortable? Does newness bother you? And does being out of control bug you? Because, you know, the whole control things, you're not in control now. So the change just means that you gain control, insight, and you make decisions. You start setting your boundaries, and you bring things more concrete to your experience. You know, so again, this is a very emotional read because a lot of times Spirit don't give a fuck about your circumstances. I'm going to be very point blank about that. You think Spirit cares about your relationships? No. They care about how you're growing from it. Now, of course, in a psychic read with me, one-on-one, we'll go through the specifics of the relationships. I'll do that. But right now, we're here for Spirit very quick, in a quick format. This is McDonald's of spiritual readings, right? So you're getting kind of the Starbucks version of it. So right now, Spirit don't care about your fucking circumstances. They don't give a fuck. They want to know, are you actually growing? And they want me to say, fuck. All they want to make you all uncomfortable to understand it's not about that. It's about growth. It's about being free to express what you feel. That is the point. And so if you're not doing that, you're not going to change. You will be stuck. And understand when you say feel stuck, what does stuck mean to you? Right? You're just, and this is for a lot of people in the room too, Lisa. So thank you for the question, or thank you for the allowing me to dovetail into other things. But being stuck, obviously you don't like being stuck. So that means you want change. Because if you didn't want change, you would feel good being stuck. No, I'm good here. I'm good. I'm fine. But I feel stuck. I don't like this. It feels heavy because you want change. Stop talking out of both sides of your mouth. Make it happen. You have the power to do so. You have the ability and resource to do so, and you will have the resources to do so. Okay. Those who are in the stuck mode need motivation. Those who are in stuck mode and know what to do and not do it need a push, and that's me pushing. That's me taking my energy and pushing. And give you the inspiration and insight you need to push and bring it to a realistic perspective to say, you know, I don't know, you know. So please understand, this is me really giving my energy, you know, to everyone who's in the room. When I get passionate like that, I'm giving energy to kind of go in there and get the energy that you need to tweak it. Like, oh, it's okay, you'll figure it out, ain't gonna do anything. Or, it's okay, I understand, ain't gonna do anything. If you're not putting that forceful energy of change in there, I will come in and do it in your subconscious and tweak it and give that change and the words that you need to bring the aha moment. That's a huge part of the work that I do, by the way. It's not just psychic reads of your future. What's my future? It's not just about that. It's about your future, but what's going on energetically that you're actually doing that's blocking yourself, that's keeping you stuck, manifesting the same results, not allowing you to complete your karmic lessons. I will get in that subconscious and give you the words that you need and how you need it. That's a big part of what I do with my mediumship abilities, as well as with my intuitive psychic abilities too, to get in there. Because your spirit wants me to do that. Your soul is asking me to do that. Okay. And I always say I'm an advocate of spirit. And I have a passion working with spirit. So, that's what my enjoyment comes out of it. Gemini girl, welcome. Geminis are great. Gemini women's in the house. My mom's a Gemini. She's at least Jennifer Cruz is in the room. She's a Gemini woman. Gemini women rock. Gemini women need to understand that they are queens, and the Gemini women this year will understand they are queens. The men, not so much. They will realize that they actually have to get a lot to decipher this year. The Gemini men. Gemini women though are going to realize they are queens. They need to be treated like a queen. So. Props to you, Gemini women. It's your time this year too. Karina Leaf, I've been. Thank you for your work. Well, thank you for that acknowledgement. I've been struggling for a little over 2 months with recovering from a concussion. I'm depressed and want to know if and when I fully recover from my symptoms and what I need to focus on in my life right now and what I need to learn. Okay, great question. It's multi-layered, but I won't beat you up for it, okay? I always say keep the question simple, but it's quite all right. Let's see. We'll kind of be simple with that. It's really kind of one question with 3 questions. Okay. Recovery time. 2.5 to 3 years recovery time. And I'm talking about, doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck here and then all of a sudden 3 years, I'm healed. Like, nice progress up, right? And 3 years, I feel like you'll have a full, basically a full recovery in a sense. I don't want to make a bigger claim in that way, but a decent recovery where it's like not impacting this way. So that's the one question. What you can do on the physical level, you might want to look into, and this is kind of help with more cognitive functions and so forth, and healing in the cognitive functions and so forth. You might want to look into like a ketogenic diet. I'm not saying that to lose weight. I'm saying that they used to use the ketogenic diet because it would help with epilepsy and really accelerate brain functionality, right? So you might want to study on that, okay? And be maybe more focused on healthier fats to allow the brain to be filled and to heal and so forth. So you might want to consider that to do that to accelerate with the healing. Now, mentally and emotionally, let's see what this represents spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all that great stuff. Right now, it sounds very simple to me, but I'm like sitting on what I've heard on this. It's like they're saying that you need to embrace your sensitivities. But let me be more clear on that because it sounds very hokey, like flighty, right? As far as what your sensitivities, there's a lot you have to express. I think what they want you to do now is getting this creative energy that you have in your mind out of your mind. Your mind feels congested with so many loving, beautiful ideas and creativity, but it's almost like your brain is constipated. You need to purge these essences. I'm seeing a lot of creative writing and creative visual arts too in conjunction to this that need to help with the healing process. So healing by visual arts, by even I would say it's funny. I interviewed someone today who did spaces, fixing their spaces energetically, but also she did some sort of course where they drew certain things with lines and it helped heal the brain. I got to find out what that is, and hopefully you'll find out what that is. It'll come to you. But there are things you can do that uses visual arts to also heal certain neurological components of the brains and rewiring certain things. It also help with healing too. So they're seeing that, but also expressing that too, and also expressing that creativity and expression. And I heard through creative writing as well. Excuse me. So I think once you do that, then I think that you will start seeing more of the emotional healing with the expression, because a lot of this for you is about self-expression, and expressing what's deep within your mind, and getting it out. So that's what this really is on the spiritual, emotional level. But yeah, the healing seems to be between 2.5, 3 years of like really good recovery. And I would recommend the ketogenic diet and look into that study about how they used to treat epilepsy with that for brain healing and brain functionality. Okay, and the development of such. So I would look into that too to help with that on that level. And yeah, that's kind of what they're saying too. And they're saying you're in a very emotionally driven person, but it's internal, right? And they say you have a very pure creative thinking and thought process to things, and you see things from a perspective that's very, very light, And all because you think dark things too doesn't mean that's normal. But at the end of the game, you have a light perspective on things that you really want to embrace, and so it needs to be expressed. It's got to get out of here and get into the world. That's what it means. Thank you. I love you. Okay? Yes, neurotropic drawing. That's what it is. Please look into that. Karina. I love you, Andrea. Thank you so much for chiming in with that. I knew it was going to come somewhere. Look into that, Karina. You're an angel, Andrea. I love you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Hope that helps, Karina. Okay, Chelsea Manica. Again, let me see here. I had 2 dreams about a guy named Doug from my past, like 12 years ago. What is it about him I'm supposed to gather from these dreams, if anything? Okay, sure. It's not about him, it's about who you were then. So let me get the message about who you were at that point. They're saying at that time you were kind of making all the wrong decisions. Okay? And I laugh about this because it's supposed to be light. So it's like, yeah, you weren't making the best decisions at that time. And, this is a symbol. It's not about him. Spirit is using men to show you something, to give you a message. In this case, they're saying, look how you were with this person. Look how you were when you met them. You kind of were making the wrong decisions. You're very flighty at that time. You're kind of like very conditional, very, I'm going to say, you're kind of vapid in that dynamic, right? And so you've changed so much from that. And so it's almost like they want to revisit your past to say, look how you were here. Look how you were in this situation. You kind of like up his ass a little bit. You kind of letting him be wishy-washy with you. And that was okay. You were kind of chasing the situation in your mind with him. And, and you kind of weren't really thinking with substance in that situation. And they're saying, but look at you now. Look at you now. Look at how you're in a situation. You're getting out of a situation because you want better. You want more. You're going against the grain. You're focusing on developing yourself. You're focusing on going to school for nursing. You're focusing on all these things, so you can actually get what you want and how you want it with substance now. So really, it was designed to show you the contrast of the past and the future. It has nothing to do with Doug, but the phase that Doug represents where you're at in your life. Okay? So it's actually trying to say, look how much you've grown. You've changed a lot from that experience. Okay? And I think your soul is dying to show you how much you've been changing. As I think I validated this before about there's been a lot of growth and change on your realization. And you're going to have teeter-tottering. That's normal. When we're phasing through something. So for me, it was like showing you have a different mindset right now than that. And you almost want to, in order to sever, or I don't want to say sever because we're not really doing that, but to evolve from that past self is to see how silly it was. Right? And so that was the point of that. And again, the X's will come up when you're making great change. I would say it's either in a dream or they'll call you, they'll reach out to you. When X's start showing up out of the blue, you're changing, and they feel it. Okay. Daryl Blankenship. I got to have lunch with Daryl Blankenship a couple days ago. He was in Palm Springs. The famous Daryl Blankenship. I got to have lunch with him. It's a great lunch. Great conversation. But he had salmon that sucked. My meal was great. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it. Both A-type personalities are both... He's like, I've already determined I'm paying. I'm like, no, I'm paying. And so he decided to go Dutch cheat. He didn't want to do that. So I said, all right, I'll accept it. I'll receive. And great lunch. That's what Christopher said. Christopher's like, we need a picture. I'm like, oh, crap, I forgot. I don't even know. Daryl, why didn't you think of a picture, taking a picture? Daryl, I've been saying a lot about his visual stuff. He came visual. I showed up in a white V-neck, and he showed up in a black V-neck. He had a black Louis Vuitton wallet. I have a blue Louis Vuitton wallet. Where's my... It's not here. So it's so funny how we had the difference of that. So it's very funny. It's not that the salmon was bad. I think he just the plate was. We went to an Indonesian place, one of my favorite Indonesian places. I don't think really kind of that is their forte. Their forte is like pho, and their egg rolls and spring rolls are amazing, and still pulling cards for Daryl here. Which, by the way, a lot of you guys who've been watching, who've been sitting around for a while, the interior design project I predicted months ago, he's doing now. He's getting into that space. So, I like seeing, and I told him months ago he'd be moving to Palm Springs, and he's moving to Palm Springs soon. So, it's nice to see that I'm not crazy or being silly. Where do they want to go with this? This reads all over the place. Okay, I know what that is. So, all right, so Daryl, they're just saying right now, like they're confirming to you. This is again an emotional read here. They're saying that you're finding your strength right now to let go and to release. So, my Leo card, which means you're loyal. I think we talked about don't be loyal just for the sake of being loyal, but this is also a confirmation that you actually have been, you found the strength right now through the processes that you've been you coming out of, and this is to me that you're kind of making the right decision. So like two swords in upright is like it's entanglement. So for me, the meaning of it in reverse is like you're detangled from those brash decisions and so forth. So they're saying that's great. And the Three of Wands is my like everything's on the horizon for you. You're embarking on a new journey, right? So that's awesome. 10 of Cups, financial year, baby. It's a financial year. 10 of Cups is all about financials, wealth, abundance in that sense. So, and that will kind of tie into your creativity as well, and the rewards of such. Again, we think that we get abundance, we get rewarded for something. It's like, no, we just actually cleared the dam. I mean, we've heard this before. It's cliche. Being abundance is our birthright, right? And it is, because you look how the world is laid out. Food grows, all the time. We have access to food if we're not controlled by modern plastic society. But as the universe is designed, I mean, you have fruit, and then inside the fruit there's seeds to plant more fruit. I mean, how more abundant can it be? There's abundance of water all around. So the universe, this world demonstrates that the abundance is there in cycle for us. So that's across the board for us. And so you're just cleared the dam. You cleared out the passageways of what you've been doing that put people before you. You cleared out the fact that you put connections, communications over your passions. And so this is where the ultimate happiness. The 10 of Cups. Sorry, I'm talking fast. 10 of Cups, not 10 of Carts. We're not in Walmart here. The 10 of Cups is really also the epitome of happiness when it comes to the tarot and the reads. It's like the ultimate happiness card. Balance, foundation, harmony, material gains, right? So it's a wonderful card to get. And they're saying that they almost like want to celebrate the work that you've been doing. So that's in the cards. I mean, I know you. For your circumstances after reading it for so long, and then now meeting it, but the cards don't lie. Just like my hips don't lie. My hips don't lie. And that's Shakira, right? Hole, hole, hole. Sometimes it's going to be borderline Shakira or Cher. Do you believe? You are ready to receive. You give a lot. And that's a Taurus energy, Daryl. That's Taurus's energy. Bull in a china shop. I'm going to show up and I'm going to shower you. And it's like, how about like not showering people and wait for people to shower, for you? Like let people who show you that they showed up for you, I don't know why that Shakira song's in my head right now. I'll be there and I'll be near. I don't know. That's in my head. Maybe you're gonna hear that stupid song sometime at some point, Daryl. Maybe after this live will come on. I'm like, oh my god. Another one from City. Surprise you. Surprise you. I don't know. How about let's do this, Sydney, for you if you want to surprise you. I was gonna throw the cards in the air. Surprise you, 10 of Cups, or 10 of Pentacles. Shakira with the country twang. I tried. I mean, her range ain't my range. And actually Shakira's Aquarius too. Is she born on my birthday? Hold on a second. I'm confused. Is she born on the 2nd, Shakira? Yes, Shakira is actually born on my birthday. We're both born on February 2nd. That's what's coming in. So... Hole. Anyways, your surprise, Sydney, is the 10 of Pentacles. So that's actually in conjunction to the 10 of Cups for me about happiness. You know what? It's interesting. They're saying it's a sovereignty too, and self-love, because I think that they're saying right now with that happiness, you're starting to realize again. We were saying about abundance and all that stuff that it comes with sovereignty, right? And this is what this reminds me of you, Sydney. Even if the photo reminds me of you for some reason. And so you've been really discovering the sovereignty and self-love. And so these are the surprising cards that I just threw in the air that came out. Okay? They want to surprise you. So you're experiencing the self-love, not sovereignty. So, and that's where the 10 of Pentacles come in. Christopher Witecki, welcome aboard. Did you guys see our Summer of Love predictions? Have you guys seen that? If you haven't, it's on his channel. It's on my channel. Watch it. Because I don't know astrology, don't know signs very much. I kind of have casual understanding. So it's almost like it was a quiz. I would read what's going to happen for the sign. And I'm like, well, let me see, like, for those who are single, those who are not single, those who don't care about relationships. And then Christopher would back it up with the astrology. So it kind of surprised me, but it was a fun little game. I think we should do more of that at some point. I'm going to have, Christopher's going to be on my live too, on my little channel. His big channel to my little channel, because I'm just getting started with my channel. So we're going to figure out something. If you guys have any suggestions what Christopher and I should do for a segment, let us know. Let us know, because we'll do something fun here. And Christopher can get very loose and very funny, and I want to bring more of that out. He's such a Christopher makes me laugh. He's hilarious. I think about it now and I laugh. So guys, give us suggestions. Any type of segment you want Christopher and I to do, let me know. We'll do it on my channel. Okay, I think I have one more. And so, guys, get your questions in now, because I'm going to close down the questions in just a second here. I have one more from Celeste Yvonne, card pull. Wonderful. I love that name, Celeste. I love that name. It's a magical name to me. Every time I hear that name, Celeste, I love it. Astro and psychic comedy. Oh, trust me, Christopher, we got to figure out, but what context of comedy would you want, you think, Sydney? So if we do like a comedy segment, to what way? You know, we could maybe act out the signs. I don't know, but I think that would be good. Oh, there you are, Celeste. There you are. Okay, now I can see you. God, I'm getting songs. Celeste, I'm just hearing a song. In my head, in my head. That whole zombie song. So you must be pondering things. You must be in your head. Let's get... Ooh. Okay. All right. Jesus, Spirit. Okay. I only want to pull 3. They're like, no, pull 6. I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. Okay, Ravina, we'll get to the PayPal question. Thanks for letting me know. And I was going to check PayPal too, so thank you. Okay, so Celeste, you might be kind of like flip-flopping right now with ideas, or especially when it comes to career and how you want to express your career and the change. So they're saying you've kind of been, going back and forth in that way. And I'm going to be general about this, because I don't want to be specific on do this, because you might be looking for that in a sense, but we want you to kind of make the realization. So I'll guide you accordingly without, I would say, interfering with your growth and your karmic process. But in the process of going back and forth, you are being overly analytical, but that's good. You need to be overly analytical right now. I think you're highly emotionally charged, which is great, and usually lead by emotions. But this analytical approach, because you got the Emperor card as well, this divine masculine energy that's coming through, please accept it. Understand, I do need to overthink a little bit, because the overthinking is allowing me to be objective. Of course, what I love about being objective about things. And so it's allowing you to be objective. It's allowing you to waver and to decipher things that have been going on. And so I think this is a wonderful thing, actually. So they're saying, advising about a creative aspect. I don't know what they're telling you to get some greenery. Tap into your green thumb right now, Celeste. They're saying working with plants or herbs. Okay? Get more in plants and herbs and find a creative aspect of that. Even if it means psychedelics. A lot of times I get the greenery and it means psychedelics. So they're saying to get charged in that. So, and then they're saying about the devil card is all about, to me that means different things, right? So devil card can mean addiction, but that's not for you. To me, that means about tapping into your physical desires, in a sense, and the sexuality. I think it's been a week of, and especially with the collective, for some reason you were sitting out to me when I was talking about the collective, about the sexuality and coming to terms with how you want to express your intimacy. This is very much important for you right now, and understanding your physical desires. And going deeper with that, right? And I think between that, working with greenery, herbs, finding your green thumb, getting that energy going in, right? And that expressing that creativity in that, and being kind of objective and maybe overthinking things in the sense it's going to allow you to kind of feel things out in a different context, could be healthy and balanced for you, not for anybody else, though, because you have a different way of processing. And then allow yourself to, envelop yourself into your physical needs and desires. Okay, that's really important. And don't be you might be judging yourself too much about that, and getting uncomfortable about that. Don't. They want you to like embrace it. Because what's going to happen this year, there's going to be a big thrust forward. Like, I love the Six of Wands. If you're trying to get something off the road, that's coming with the Six of Wands. If you're trying to get something started, a new idea started, it's coming off the road. If you're trying to have a fast movement and wants to support, you got it. That's what this means, that the Six of Wands means in that sense. You have the support. It's going to be pushing you forward spiritually. And I think you'll be tapping into healing. And I mean healing for helping others to heal. I think you're going to start realizing how much of a healer you actually are. That's going to come to realization. It ends on the Ace of Pentacles. I think you're going to hit the jackpot. Not with the lottery. I'm saying the jackpot as far as where you're landing, where you're going, and, that's going to bring in your financial abundance about your actual worth and what you should be doing and how you should be applying this creativity and this healing. Okay? So I think that's a wonderful read. Right? And so embrace this part of yourself and allow yourself to now leverage. It's kind of like we were saying before. You started your business healing. Awesome. Well, there you go. So maybe also the green thing too, Celeste, is like getting in with herbs too or psychedelics. I don't know why they just throw that at me. So think about that. So you're going to be pushed forward. I think once you realize that's the essence of you, bam. You know what I mean? So it's really good. I love your name. I just love that name, Celeste. Okay, we have one more in PayPal. I'm gonna go in there. Thanks for your patience. I never got to my topic on ETs. That's okay. Maybe you guys weren't so interested in that topic anyway. Awesome. So I'm glad Spirit's here to vocalize it for you so you don't overanalyze it and miss it. Right? Okay. We got Lisa. We have three more. We have Lisa Garan. We have Ravina Gural. And we have Kumi Huerter. Ravina and Elizabeth Odom is next. Okay, so you guys are in the queue. Okay, I'm going to close down the reads here. Let me just do this, okay. All right, so you guys who are watching, I appreciate you guys' patience. So again, Leslie Gordon is next, and right after that, we have Ravina Gruel, then we have Kumi, and then we have Ravina again. Actually, okay, I see a payment issue. And then we have Elizabeth Odom. So, all right, we have four more. Let's get to them. Okay, Leslie Garan. One question. I'm not sure where I typed my question, but I'm wondering why I'm constantly thinking of someone, if this is my energy or his. Okay, let me tap in. You did the right thing, Leslie. You typed your question in the right box. You're good. There's that overthinking energy that's happening with a lot of us this week, too. I love it. No, it's his. You're an empath, love. This feels out of the blue to me. So it's not like, all of a sudden you ran across a picture and now you're thinking about him. Then this feels so out of the blue, like, this person just popped in. So they're saying this connection needs to be severed. I don't think connections are ever severed, but I definitely want to see, let you understand in the physical sense. Severance and disconnections are illusions in the physical world, but we never actually sever connections. We just stop the allowance of the feeding of it. They're saying this needs to go. This individual, to me, has a very kind of chaotic energy, and there's something very overly sexual with them too that I don't like. So whether it's directed at you or not, it's more about this person just has a very dense energy. Okay, so I would kind of sever the connection. It is coming from them, and I think they have been thinking about you, but it feels, again, there's a sexual undertone. So if you were not lovers with them, they're kind of sexually thinking about you in a way, or something that just doesn't seem very respectable to me, their energy. you know. So I would do what you can to kind of maybe sever the connection or sever the cords in the physical sense, to disallow any type of, you know, communication psychically with this individual. We can communicate with people psychically when we have connections with them. If we leave it open or the door unlocked in a sense, then they can still kind of creep in, whatever, psychically. Even if they're not intending to it, you'll pick up on it. But I think they've been directing energy at you. It just doesn't feel like a good energy. So I would kind of disassociate yourself from it, even if they do connect physically. Okay. What it means for you is, I think is like the message for you is making sure you don't leave things open-ended when it comes to relationships, making sure you have to close them down. And there seems to be a curiosity around this person that I also would kind of let go of, you know? I don't know why it feels like it was a connection with you two, but then it wasn't a connection with you, so I get kind of a split on that energy. So maybe it was a connection that really wasn't connected, but it kind of was, or there was a distance with the connection. I just get that kind of both energy on that. So I think that maybe settle it down in your mind and what it really means for you, so it's not open-ended psychically. And then, you know, it's irrelevant. I don't care for the energy of this person. It just feels slimy to me. You know, so we all have a different perspective now. From my perspective, it's slimy. Somebody else might like slime. Based on some of the readings I've had in the past, you know, decade, seems like a lot of people gravitate to slimy energy, right? So for me, slimy energy might be something different to you, but I would say in your context, it just would be something that would be still be like an unsettled energy that you just want to kind of settle it down. I wouldn't revisit it. That would be my opinion on it. I wouldn't revisit it. Ravina, what happened, dear? One question, not just card pull. Okay, this is for Ravina Gruel. Sorry, I meant to. Okay, I'm interested in a guy named John. I haven't met him in person just yet, but I feel a strong connection to him. Do you see this going anywhere? Where is he? That's my energy on it. It's like, first thing I'm going to say, you guys had experienced life too without knowing things, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like hesitant. Like, should you go experience it without knowing it so you can actually learn your lesson and karmic that you need to learn? Or should I just tell you? You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like a little on the fence about that. But the energy to me feels stale in a sense. I think that for some reason they feel neurotic to me. So it might appear to be they can be a little controlling in person and like, or just kind of very anal, you know, doesn't really know how to relax in a sense, is like a very anxious energy. They feel to be in their head in a sense that they're not so aware of others in person. I feel like they are comfortable, I would say, being, you know, from a distance in that sense. You know, not that they're a bad person, they just feel heavy to me. And heavy in a sense, kind of like, not like the last person I was reading with that heavy energy, heavy in a sense of they think too much, they don't allow themselves to relax, and they have to kind of dictate how things go when they're in person. So, you know, there's a little of that OCD energy. I think that you will lose the interest. Okay, so if you want to know the future, here it is. I mean, sometimes it's good to experience it anyway, so you can learn from this. But I think that, you know, you might give him a free pass and a free pass and a free pass and a free pass and another free pass. Like, oh, but you know, but he's sensitive. Okay, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I just wouldn't do it. Yeah, he hasn't done anything wrong. I get he's having anxiety, so I'm gonna give him a free pass. Don't do that. You know, so you'll end up kind of chasing an energy, and so, you know, so it doesn't feel to me it would be balanced when in the person. It feels different, like through the distance communication. So, yeah, you know, not a bad guy, but a guy who has like a lot of unresolved, you know. So that's what it feels for me. Are we still streaming here? Because I'm getting a little bit of a delay on my end. How's the feed? Can someone chime in so I know it's like good? Nina? Just make sure, because mine's like a little delayed. I'll make sure everything's still going through. I don't know if it got a little silent. Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Next question. Did I say this? Okay. for Kumi. Kumi, or Huerta. So, Kumi, can I just say Kumi? Is that okay? Hey, Scott, love your show every week. Oh, thank you. I'm wondering if I should go ahead with my surgery this month or postpone and change my doctor. I have a problem with the uterus. Let me tap in. Reality distortion field, please. You mean like the distortion, like I think you're awesome guy, Christopher? Is that the distortion you're talking about? Hi, Teresa from Jersey. Awesome with you, Teresa. You know, for me, this doesn't feel a good month for surgery for me for some reason. Kumi. I would postpone it, and I think that's a good reason why you're asking this. Actually, I would postpone it. It doesn't feel like a good time for it, and I think that monitoring it, of course, you want to do, and I would probably change your doctor. I'm sorry, this face I'm making, it's probably ugly in the screen. Or is that my reality distortion, Christopher? Maybe it's really beautiful in the screen. But yeah, I would for some reason, the energy collectively doesn't feel good for surgery in this month. I would postpone it more to around summertime, if you can. Monitor things, practice a good regimen for uterine health, and I would get a different doctor. This doctor feels like not so focused, like almost like we'll do things quickly, and I don't like that energy. So I would use your intuition too. I don't want you to take me to tell you what to do. I want you to take what I'm feeling and use that with your intuition too, right? And so I definitely want you to think about this. The time doesn't feel good for March for surgery for me. Maybe Christopher, chime in. Can you help me on this? Because what's in this month of March where I feel like surgery would not be a good month for surgery? Can you fill me in, Christopher, on this and what planet? Because I feel like more close to summertime would be great. All right, more close to summertime would be great. And definitely getting a new doctor, and I feel like things go a lot smoothly then. I feel like maybe like May, June, it'd be a good time for the surgery. So maybe Christopher can help me understand why I'm saying March, no, but May, June feels so good. Maybe even things improve a little bit with your uterus, and so where it makes it easier. Maybe that's another reason for the timing I'm sensing too, because I feel like it's getting a little better too in a sense. So maybe things get better where things become a lot easier. The timing's just not good, and I think a different doctor. I don't know. I'm sensing a doctor that might be of a different ethnicity. Like it may be a darker skinned, or someone might be, Indian descent or Middle Eastern descent, but still here. But someone very knowledgeable and someone very, very calm energy, very soothing energy. Okay, Christopher says it must be the fun fact of the sun in Pisces, which is karma and the opposite of Virgo health. If she has health karma, this is not the time. Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you for that. So yeah, I'm sensing around more like close to summertime, May, June feels like a really good energy to do so, and a better doctor. I think you're gonna find a doctor that's very kind of really, I would say, just calm and patient. This one doctor doesn't feel that way to me. Feels like a rush to do the job. Yeah, a lot of people, Christopher. A lot of people have been saying that they love us together. We're getting a lot of comments on that. A lot of comments on that. So we're gonna have to do like a little like another sidekick show or something. Okay, the last one is Elizabeth Odom. Let's see here. Yeah, we could do tag team readings. One segment, Christopher. Yeah. I'm using Ecamm Live. I can actually just send you a link. You come on. We can do a dual screen type of tag team. Yeah, we could do that. I found a way to be easy. All you need is to click on a link and show up, and you're good. So maybe we could do that next week. If you could do it next week, we could figure that out. Because I think that's really cool. I think that the blending of astrology and psychic readings would be fucking amazing. I said that a couple weeks ago too about us doing that. Because I think that's kind of maybe Spirit wants us to kind of blend the worlds for both. That might be great. So So yeah, it'd be easy to do on my show to do that, and we could practice it on my show, being I have a more intimate show. My new little show. Okay, let's go to the last question, and I thank you so much, Elizabeth Odom, for being so patient and waiting. Hopefully I don't disappoint. Okay. This first question is, will my Etsy endeavors ever take off, or should I focus my energy elsewhere? 2, is my self-sabotaging self-sabotage binging related to a past life or unhealed wound that I need to find and focus on? These are loaded questions. So let's see. Oh, and when we do the reads, Christopher will not tell me about any astrology about it. Like, that's going to be the premise of it, where I will not know which node is where and so forth. And so I will do the prediction first, and he can concur or say, Scott, you're full of fucking crap. Which I haven't heard that in the past 12 years of doing this professionally. So pretty good. I mean, I'm not perfect, right? But I think spirit is perfect. If I'm a voice for spirit, then spirit's perfect, right? So it's more about expressing it. Okay. We Etsy endeavors take off. Should I focus on you don't have to get rid of the Etsy endeavors, they're saying. You got to refocus on the caliber of what you're offering. They're saying you kind of gave up on it. You kind of like, it's there. I'm not that excited about it. So if you're not that excited about it, then don't do it. They're just showing that you're not really putting much excitement into it. It feels like a project to you. So if it feels that energy, then get rid of it. But they're saying you don't have to. If you recharge it with like a different modality of different calibers of what you're offering on it and presenting it differently and find that new excitement for it, then you can start seeing a great pickup on it. And finding others who have platforms who can share it as well. And so that's what they're saying on that. So it's not completely dead. You just kind of lost excitement. It's kind of just been a thorn. So if it's going to stay like that, if you get rid of it. But they're saying you could rebrand this and refocus on, they keep saying the caliber of that. So maybe offering different things and different levels of things in a sense that kind of brings more of a well-rounded store. Then and igniting that type of new perspective with interest and excitement, then it would take off, again, or take off in a way that's making money. The second question is, my self-sabotaging binging related to a past life or unhealed wound that I need to find and focus on? No, this actually feels current life karma. This is coming from your mom. This is a tough one because I don't feel like your mom is overtly horrible, right? So your mom feels good, but for some reason the mother energy doesn't feel grounded to me, right? And so I feel like, that because of my mom not being so grounded growing up, I think for me that you've taken a lot of that personally. So I think your mom I've seen you being raised in this lifetime, doesn't feel previous karma, it feels like current karma or current incarnation. Your mom being out of control to a lot of things growing up, that you've taken it personally and sabotaged yourself because of the fact that you felt guilty for what your mom was feeling at those times. So it feels connected to mom or being responsible for mom in that sense, that you've actually then been sabotaging yourself and taking things personally. So it's kind of developed into the action of that. And the binging for me is like, if you beat yourself up, then you got to make yourself feel better. If you deprive yourself, then you have to kind of overdo things to make yourself feel satisfied again. So the binging is the opposite side of the self-sabotage and deprivation, right? So you're kind of out of balance in saying that I feel responsible for my mom. That's kind of what's been, up to this point at the younger age, that you're responsible for it when you're not, and then so you're self-sabotaging yourself because of that. It's kind of a pattern that's developed in time from your childhood, it feels like to me. And the binging is just a side effect of you understanding you deserve more, but then so I deprive myself, so deprive myself, that binging in a sense. And then purge, right? So you got to find a balance right now and understand that you're not responsible for everybody. You're not responsible for anybody else at all. You have to be only responsible for you, and understand that you cannot be the cause or a fault for somebody else's issues. Okay, nor can you be responsible for somebody else's issues. So that's how it's kind of picking up to me. And so when you kind of allow yourself to work with that and set yourself free of the fact that you have to be responsible for somebody else, even though you love them, right, or feel bad for them, that's not doing anything but harming yourself. And then, of course, it sabotages you in a way because you're putting others before yourself, and that's another way that self-sabotage expresses. A lot of times we express self-sabotage in addiction or bad relationships. We self-sabotage or with success. So self-sabotage can manifest in so many different ways. In this case, you're kind of taking on too much, and that causes you to binge. Okay, deprivation, overcompensation. Deprivation, overcompensation. That's been what you've been going back for. You haven't found the middle ground of saying, I have to be at peace with myself. I have to be at peace and understand that I can only make myself feel better, not anybody else. I'm not responsible for anybody else. That's going to clear a lot of this subconscious stuff. Okay? But I feel like you're on the road. I feel like you're on a path to that, anyways. Like I feel like you're on a path to doing so. So I don't feel like that this is like going to continue like forever. So I feel like you're on a path of discovering this and healing this and purging that in a sense. So I think that you'll get past this, and it doesn't feel like it's going to be stuck within you. So I think you've been doing the work and making the realization to do so. But again, back to Etsy store. It's like you lose the focus on focusing on yourself consistently. So you drop the ball on certain things that have to do with you. You drop the ball on it. So it's like you have to be consistent with your energy for yourself and less but consistent for other people. Okay? Okay. It's like running a mile. No, not running a mile. I can run a mile. It's like running 15 miles. I feel like I've done so much work and now I'm just like, I am done. I've completed my mission. And so that's great. So what we're gonna do now, we have a wonderful treat for you again. We had Lafayette record a new recording for some sound healing and I just trimmed it down to 6 or 7 minutes. If it was 13 minutes, but I felt like I was gonna go a little long today. So let's enjoy a nice little sound bathing treat with Mr. Lafayette, if it comes up. Turn up your speakers if you... Y'all awake? Everybody awake? Y'all fall asleep? Did I lose you all? Was y'all all there? Those tones, those frequencies are vibey and put you in a spacey environment. So thank you, Lafayette, for that. He also uses sound bowls too, so maybe we'll get more of an orchestra from him next time too. I love even just the intimate guitar. But he does well like doing the guitar and the sound bowl and all these different elements for the healing. So very good. I asked him for a longer piece because last time was like 5 minutes. We're all like, I need more. So so without dragging things out, I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming and stopping by my little live show. I love my show. I love my people, my peeps in the room. And yeah, maybe next week I'll get to the extraterrestrial. I'm surprised I didn't have time for the topic this week. So maybe we'll just get into it next week. Who knows? Or maybe next week we have our Christopher. If Christopher and I can work it out, then maybe next week we'll do our tag team. And so if not, well, next week, well, of course, I'll let you guys know. Keep in the loop on my Instagram because that's where I post a lot of the adverts at Scott Cruz Spirit on Instagram. I think that the links are somewhere here. I'm not sure if they are, but they're somewhere. Maybe Nina, if you could drop the links in there. And so this way you'll know whether or not next week will be Christopher or just another ET topic that we didn't do today. So we'll keep you in the loop, and I'm sure Christopher will let you know too. So appreciate every single one of you guys who are coming. Enjoy the rest of this week. Next week predictions. I think next week would be feels zestier for me. So you might have more pep in your step next week by the time we talk next. So I am sensing a different of a pep. Okay. So that's wonderful. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And I think I just got a message from Jennifer Lee, but the questions are closed. So I'll refund you the payment. And we can start next week with new questions. I'm out of it. Can't you tell that meditation was great? I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my night. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your night. It's so great to see you. And I will leave you with my long outro so you guys can mingle in the chat before I end the live. So much love to you guys. And those of you who have been booking during the session too, so I've gotten some bookings that came in during the session. For those who don't know, I do my personal sessions one-on-one are a lot different than, of course, this is a quick general format. I go more in depth with my personal sessions. I'm not a tarot reader. I'll be using my psychic and medium abilities. So you can book a session with me, personal session at scottcruzpm.com, where I offer life readings. And of course, you can see the array of things that I specialize in when it comes to my life readings, as well as mediumship sessions, which is, of course, connecting with those who cross over. And I do offer a session called Intuition Builder, which will help you to develop your abilities both psychically and with your mediumship abilities, and also just channeling overall to help you to even express your creativity. So I appreciate every single one of you guys in the room. Good night. Remember, you are all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. And where's my outro? There it is. Buenos noches. Ciao, guys.
He said it looked like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You said like something on your end table that you this too.
My God, we're crazy.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that make
always
sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine, somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some magnawave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come out here and talk bull and repeat. I'm living this stuff.